Designing activities with an input-based approach. What is input-based? An input-based method is when the language learner takes advantage and works processing the language he reads or listens. For an input-based methodology, the more you read or listen, the more you have to process and then produce. That is, your brain gets more and more familiar with the language and builds a basis. As input plays a very important part in this method, we must pay attention to our resources. They should be engaging, as authentic as possible, and comprehensible for the learners. For EMP at UNAM, it is important that contents are interdisciplinary, interesting, and academic, so that they can enrich our students' background. And whenever it is possible, input should be presented in a written and an oral form. But reading, watching, and listening are not enough. Learners should take time to go over the input, do something with it, and understand sentences and then the connected discourse. Activities should all the time be focused on meaning. They need to use similar language to the one used in the text, videos, or recordings. Activities should be opportunities to reflect on what the author meant and analyze it. They should foster learners' processing strategies. Here are some examples of input-based activities. Supplying information. Supplying information are activities where students read or listen and then they complete ideas or answer questions. They complete text to summarize, or as we can see in this one, they exchange information with their classmates or they share information with the others to convey meaning. In surveys, students collect data from the input read or listened. They can even do this activity asking questions to their classmates. In this case, students become the input for each other. A matching exercise requires students understand the input and then connect two columns, or as we can see in these examples, students need to match the topic sentence with its supporting sentences or match the cause and its effects. Exercises with binary options require students separate information. The most popular is the classic true and false exercise. For example, in these exercises, we need to say if the phrase is a cause or an effect. Or in the second one, just answer yes or no. However, depending on the content, we can create our options. Like, for example, saying if the information is fact or fiction, if it's mentioned in the text or not, if it's easy or difficult, etc. Order, rank, and classify are other examples. After reading or listening, students classify the information in different categories, or they can arrange them in chronological or alphabetical order. They can use the information to rank as the most important, the most common, popular, or any of those. They can also be asked to read or listen to an extract and then give the sequence of the processes or events. Different from binary options are activities with selecting alternatives. In this case, students have a number of options and they need to pick the right or the right ones. We can use verbs like choose, decide, picked, and select. Well, now that we know the characteristics of our input-based activities, here is a checklist that you can use. My activity is related to content and meaning. Students can understand a good part of the text. The text, recording, or video has an interdisciplinary content. I'm recycling the language used in the text for my activities. Activities make students use critical thinking skills. My activities are a path for students to process information. I hope you find this information useful. Thanks for watching.